What's going on YouTube? This is Trent for Truck Life Productions. I'm back with another video. This video is going to be about how much I paid for this truck and how much I have put into it. And what it was a question from a subscriber named Kyle Gammons. So I shout you out for asking the question, and I figured I'd answer it for you as well as everybody else that would like to know. Basically, these last few weeks I've been kind of busy, so I haven't been able to get a video together, but this one I did have to sit down for a couple minutes, try to figure up everything and all the prices and stuff. Some of it might be close to what it cost me, some of it probably is like right on because it's most recent purchases, but there's a few things that I've actually done to the truck and then changed, so I've actually tried to figure up the most recent prices of everything that I've done, or stuff that I still have on the truck that I paid for like years ago whenever I first got the truck, and stuff like that. So I will be trying to get a few more videos out here within the next few days, but other than that, this one's about this truck. So I bought this truck in 2015. It's a 2005 Dodge Ram 1500 if you haven't heard already, but I bought it in November of 2015. Ended up having my other truck that I had totaled, not the 10 gen, it's the S10 that I had prior to this one. It got totaled, so I had to find another truck. Come across this one. The price for it was $10,000. That's how much I got it for. It was actually a little bit more, but I talked them down and we set on 10 even. After finance charges, because I did have to finance it, I was in there at like $13,000 total dollars for the truck. And so after that, you know, 5 years, well actually I paid the truck off, and it was in 3 years and 3 months or something like that. So basically 3 years later I own the truck. So within that time frame I actually did start adding stuff to the truck, but also I have added stuff since then as well. But I went through and made the list of everything that I have, and I'll kind of show it as I describe how much. But first thing we'll start with is the most expensive thing that I've put on so far, which would be the wheels and tires. Now, I have had a couple different sets of wheels and tires on this truck since I've had it, but this is the most recent. These are 22 by 14 Vision Spiders, -76 offset. They are a little dirty because I haven't washed them. But the tire is a Canati Mud Hog, 33 1250 22, so it is a little bit stretched on the tire. These are, I think they run a little bit wider than a 1250, so it's not quite as much of a stretch, but they are mud tires. They are loud. They do kind of ride, honestly, from a stop to about 10-15 miles an hour. You can feel the mud tire part of it, but once you start going down the road, it ain't quite as bad, I think, because they're a softer tire. But they run pretty decent. They do stick out past the fender well pretty good, especially with the stretch. So on the outer side of the tire right there is where the rim would be. That's how far it would actually be sticking out if I run a 14 wide or 14.5 wide tire. But those are $2,400. It was like 22, but after they add tax, all totaled was $2,400. So that is the most expensive thing I have put on this truck so far as a one purchase. The next thing we'll go to while we're already here is the leveling kit. So with this, I just went with a leveling kit at the moment. It is a Rough Country 2-inch leveling keys. And what happened was I ended up taking it to a four-wheel drive shop. I bought the keys, ended up having them install them. So total, after them installing them and taking it to get an alignment done, because you do have to get an alignment done whenever you do something like that, that cost me, the keys themselves were $80 or $79.79 or something like that. But after everything's said and done, it cost me like $200 for that. Next thing would be the window tint. I have 5% tint on it right now. Now I have went through a couple different tint setups on this truck, but right now I currently have 5% on the fronts and the backs. That was 180 bucks for the 5 there, the 5 there, and then the 5 in the very back. But on top of that, I had another layer added to the back window, which cost me 80 bucks. It was a layer of 20%, so 5%, 5%, 5 with 20% over top. And then with the 5% brow in the front, that was 50 bucks. Kind of hard to see. Little brow going across. That was 50 bucks. So 180, 80, and then 50 for that. The next thing would be the intake that's under the hood. I'll go ahead and pop the hood for you. So the intake under the hood, it is a little dirty. I need to clean it up. I have to change out my compressor fan on my air conditioner, so I will be taking all that out here soon to get to it. But other than that, after I do that, I'll be cleaning stuff up. But this intake basically is just an eBay intake. I was trying to build this truck on somewhat of a budget, so that way I can show other people that they can do it as well. But this intake right here cost me, it was like $79.50 or something like that. So basically 80 bucks. And it's basically just a intake with a open box, but it's got this gasket at the top that somewhat seals. And then the filter, which I'll be cleaning all that up, getting it all nice and ready for a show coming up soon. Yeah, I don't remember the name brand of it. All I just know is you can go on eBay, type it in, and that's where it's at. This next thing would be the muffler that I put on it. I've had different mufflers on here. Right now, I'm just temporarily running a Flowmaster Super 10, and it's basically just right out the back, right there. So no tailpipes or nothing, just it would almost be like dumped, except I don't have turn downs on it. But that's just my temporary setup for now until I get all my tailpipe and everything, all that situated. I've been trying to figure out how I want to run them, but that muffler itself cost me 90 bucks. It was at the parts store. Went and picked it up, put it on, and that's it. Next thing would be the tuner that I have on here. I'll go around to the inside. The tuner is a Bully Dog GT. It's a little bit older version tuner, but I got it. It was 430 bucks. Went through, put the tune on, and it's also got continuous diagnostics, or the gauges in there, which will let me know the reading on stuff at the time, so I can keep up with that. So it's sort of like a tuner gauge setup combo. But yeah, that's on that. The next thing would be the headlights. These again were another eBay buy. I just went on eBay, looked up some tinted headlights for this truck, and I wanted to get rid of the amber corners in them, so I found some with clear corners because I like the way those look. So I got them on eBay for $95. I don't remember the name brand of them, so sorry about that. But like I said, you just go on eBay and search them up, and that's what you'll find. Next thing would be these taillights. Went on eBay again, looked for tinted taillights. This is what you come up with. and it's actually tinted taillights and tinted for the sorry for that, got birds in the area. Tinted taillights and tinted reverse lights, so there you go. But they're also LEDs as well. I paid $95 for these, and with the back of the truck it kind of looks good. Gives that blacked out look to it. While I'm back here, we're going up to the third brake light. That's the same way with these birds. Alright, so the third brake light is LED as well, tinted, so it kind of gives this truck all blacked out look back here at the back. I paid I paid $23 for it. And like I said, with the black truck, the black basically the blacked out back window, all this kind of blends in together, all blacked out, so I think it looks good. Next thing while I'm over here would be the antenna. I got this off of, let's see, I don't remember where I got the taillights or the third brake light. I do know this brand of this is called True Spike. I think I was on Instagram and just came across it as an ad and clicked on it because I was looking for a shorty antenna, and I know a bunch of people use the 50 caliber bullet antennas, and this was just a little bit different because it was a spiked antenna. So I was like, you know, I'll try it out and see what I think. I still get somewhat decent reception on the radio, but it's not, you know, as if it was a normal antenna. But I do use my Bluetooth a lot, so I don't really need it that much. But for that I actually paid $37. Again, it's True Spike. On to the next thing would be the I should have done this while I was at the back, the LED tag lights. So since I was going with pretty much everything LED on the back, brake lights, the third brake light, the tag lights, and they're also tinted as well, but they actually shine really bright at nighttime, but they are LED. I got them for $15, and they were on eBay as well. So I don't remember the name brand, I just remembered looking them up, or they had popped up when I was looking at the tail lights and the third brake light. Those had popped up as a suggestion, and I thought they were pretty neat. I figured why not, went ahead and bought them. 15 bucks, you can't really beat that. So the next thing, we'll go ahead and get to the inside of the truck here. It is dirty again. I'm been really busy, so I will be cleaning it out before long, especially show coming up at the end of July I plan to make, so I will have be cleaning it up. Next thing would be this DVD player. So this with the backup camera and this whole bezel right here that goes around it, this I bought everything separate, or had to buy everything separate, but what I did was I've got the price of every individual thing, but I also went through and did the combined total if you thought about doing something like this. So this head unit is a Pioneer, and I think it's a 120 BT or something like that. I think they had a 110 also, but this is the one I came across. It was a 120 BT. There's a upside to it and a downside to it. The upside is that everything works nice. It looks nice. It was decent price. The downside to it is like right here at the very top, up and down is your volume buttons. I would have honestly preferred a dial to turn it up and down instead of the buttons, and it don't come with a remote, which ain't that bad of a thing not to have a remote, because that's one thing that I don't have to worry about trying to find a place for or keeping up with. But I really would have liked the dial. I may go back and change it out later on, but honestly right now I'm just leaving it like it is. So the DVD player itself cost me $170, and like I said, it was a Pioneer. So I've had Pioneer products before and had good experiences with them. So whenever it was time for me to find one of these, I decided to go with it again. Now, if you know these trucks very well, you know that they only come with a single DIN radio. So the original, I swapped over the original radio for a CD player that was a single DIN. And then I went to the DVD player because I wanted a backup camera, and the DVD player I had was one of the single DINs that pop out and flip up. Well, it would constantly keep getting hit on the corner of this dash right here. So I decided I'm gonna go and modify it even more and put a flat screen double DIN. So that kind of did take a little bit of work to do. It's not hard, it's just time consuming. But at least now I ain't got to worry about it popping up, hitting the dash or anything like that, and everything works. Anyway, I spent $170 on it. And the backup camera is a wired backup camera, not a wireless, because I know people can get wireless ones. All it is, it goes where the tag screws in, and I've got it pointed down to the top of the hitch right here at the ball, so that way I can see the hook up trailer, because I'm constantly hooking up the trailer to use it. I got it and I got the camera for $65 from a shop that does audio video stuff. I don't remember the name brand of the camera itself, but I do know that it has night vision and it has the lines inside of it. The lines do not turn like on a newer vehicle, but they are there, and it definitely has the night vision, which I do like about it. But for $65, I think that was a pretty good deal on that. And then this bezel here, the bezel I think I found on Amazon, and I don't remember the name of the bezel, but I do know that you have to get one of them and swap it out from the other one to get the flat screen like that to work. But so $170 for the flat screen or DVD player, $65 for the camera. And after the bezel, because I don't remember the exact price of the bezel, but the bezel, the wires, everything to get a whole setup working, it was around $300. I think a little over $300, give or take, but I just estimated at $300 because that's what I remember the most of. So we'll go on to the back here. This sub right here, now this is just a cheaper one. I plan on changing it out and going with a kicker sub, but basically this is a 10-inch dual from Walmart. It's a sub amp combo. It's just temporary, but that cost me 80 bucks. The kicker one's gonna cost more, so that's why I haven't done it yet. But at the time I had purchased that one, just went with that. I do have Rocklights on here, so it needs to be cleaned up. Right now I have one on each wheel well. I do plan on taking them out and doing 2 per wheel well. I'll probably try to find that same brand or maybe go with a different brand. But like in the back here, there it is. So I have one under each wheel well. The Rocklights are selling for like 25 bucks off of eBay, just cheap ones. The wires, I had to buy all that. I don't remember the total for that, but I do know that the actual Rocklights are selling for $25 for the Ford. The next thing would be the pods. As you see here, FCK light bars. At the time I was being sponsored by them, so I got a little bit of a discount, had a code and all that. But if I change these out or go with something different, I'll probably go with a different brand. But these two were $35 each. They're basic, simple LED pods. I have been thinking about taking these off and not running anything up here and putting flush mount pods in the bumper, which will probably be about the same price. So that's probably not gonna be much difference, but again, 35 for each, 70 bucks total. And then I had to already had a wiring harness, so that didn't cost me none, because they don't come with a wiring harness unless you buy one from whoever, or FCK light bars in that case. But I already had one from some prior KC lights I had, so I just used that harness and wired them into it. Next thing is this grill. This is a stock grill for a 06 to 08 Dodge Ram. Truck's a 02, 03 to 05. So it's a different grill. I like the way it's set up with the ram head in the middle, but I did end up paying the guy $35 for it locally. Just bought it off of him. The grill support that's behind it that I did buy to make this one fit better than the factory grill, that cost me $55, and I bought it off of Rock Auto. So I do go to them for a lot of parts that I use, especially like replacement parts. So check them out if you're on there. I am not sponsored by them, so you know, that would be great if I did, but I mean, it is what it is. I still go to them and buy parts. Next thing is, while we're in here, this painting, stencil painting. So what happened was, I had used to have a decal up here that looked exactly like this, that me and the decal lady that I have make them for me had come up with this design setup thing, because I couldn't find something like this. She made the decal, I put it on. The summertime heat caused the decal to start wrinkling up in here. So I came up with the idea with her about making a stencil and painting it on. She was able to make the stencil. I went to Walmart, got paint, and painted it on. The stencil itself cost me $25. So that wasn't too bad. The next thing would be the paint match, paint cans. So the paint match, I did the grill, I did the front bumper, and the rear bumper. And what I did, went through, looked at the paint code on the truck, went on eBay and found the paint match colors, and went through and bought some clear coat for from the parts store to make everything kind of blend in together. The paint itself was $45. That's for 3 cans total. So that wasn't too bad. The only problem is they're really small cans. They don't have a lot of paint in them. So I say go sparingly, unless you know exactly what you're using for. I basically used a can per each part. 1 can on the rear bumper, 1 can on the front bumper, and 1 can on the grill. So get it all done the first time and you won't have to worry about running out of paints. So the last thing right here is the Richard Petty and John Reep autographs. Both of these, I actually had to meet these people in person to get them. Richard Petty, as you know, is an old NASCAR driver from back in the day. He lives somewhat local to me, enough to where he will do autographs for people that live in the state. Went and called up and was able to get an appointment set up to go up there, meet him, and him sign my dashboard. Didn't cost me a dime, which I think is pretty awesome. With John Reep, the way that's set up, that actually didn't cost me nothing either, for him to physically sign it. But what happened was, is he was doing a show in the state that I live in, and I went to the place where he was doing it at, and after everything was said and done, he's standing around at the back of the place. People start going by, you know, shaking his hand, thanking him, whatnot, telling him about the show. And I was one of the ones near the back of the line. I walked up to him, I said, "Hey man," I said, "you used to do them Dodge commercials," and he talked about it in his stand-up stage act. But I said, "Hey man," I said, "I know you used to do them Hemi commercials back in the day." I said, "I actually have a truck that was like on the commercial. Would you mind signing the dashboard?" He said, "Oh yeah, man, I'd love to." He said, "Just hang out until everybody gets done here, and whenever everybody gets by, we'll go outside, pull it up to the front, and I'll sign it for you." You know, everybody went out the door. I went and got the truck, pulled it up to the front door. He walked out there, sat in the truck and signed the dash. So that was free. Other than that, that's basically everything that I've done to the truck. I do have more modifications that are coming over time. I just haven't got around to them. Been busy. And I know the next thing will be paint. As you can see, definitely gonna be doing a full out paint job. I don't know exactly how or when yet, but I know it will be coming soon. Maybe a little body work too with the rust, if you haven't seen it already. I have talked about that before. I am going to be getting the rust taken care of, whether it's getting a new bed or doing patch panels. I would rather do a new bed, but other than that, that will be getting taken care of. All said and done, the total that I have spent on the truck with this setup right here is $4,290. Now that's overtime, that's not all at one time. So if you hear that number and you think, wow, that's not a budget, it kind of is a budget. It's just overtime with using cheaper parts, cheaper modifications, so you don't have to go out and buy the name brand high dollar stuff. So you can accomplish a nice looking rig at a decent price. So with the $10,000 that I spent for the truck, $13,000 total for the financing, and the $4,000 that I spent on modifications, that's $14,290 for the truck and modifications. And then if you add in the $3,000 extra for the total with the financing, that's $17,290. I'm sorry, $17,290 total. So there you go. That's what it looks like. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. See you soon.